Lights, camera, action! We're shooting threes, just SMB. We're gonna watch and review film trilogies. It's all for laughs, so just sit back. We're gonna drop dimes on this podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
We're back in jolly old London
Cheerio.
town with a little bear.
Cheerio.
We've got a little bear.
Streaming live from London. Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Don't encourage. Don't,
it's okay. We
don't goad me into accents.
You know what's fucked up? I learned how to do the Australian accent through watching Instant Hotel, and now I can't do a British accent unless it's like Cockney or like a very exaggerated Claire Foy, Queen Elizabeth.
Sure. Instant Hotel, sure, that's what you learned it from. Not Bluey.
And not Bluey. Well, I knew it before Bluey, but also Teacher's Pet.
Sure.
From Headley. What's his name? From Brisbane.
Did
you listen to that podcast?
No.
Where the teacher, it's like this girl, basically like it was a school, it was an all-girls school, and like the entire time that it was running, all of the male teachers were constantly having sex with the teenage students.
Oh, I gotta listen to that.
Yeah, and then like the mom disappears, and so like all these women are like, as soon as I heard, I called 999. There's no way she'd ever leave her kids behind like that. She didn't run away. She was murdered.
Yeah, it was a weird turn for Paddington 2 to make.
Yeah. This is Paddington 2 that famously takes place in London.
Yes.
This is maybe the greatest movie that we've ever spoken about on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that it's not on Criterion.
I also had to fucking rent this movie on Amazon Prime. I'm
crime.
disgusted that it's not just available for streaming.
I mean, they know the gold mine they're sitting on by making it $3.79, because why wouldn't you rent this movie over and over and over again?
Truly. Also, Paddington in Peru is now in theaters as we're recording this.
Yeah, we are. We're racing. To
I think we watched Paddington 1 last week. This is the most on time we've ever been.
Yeah, I mean,
about anything.
I'm not going to be late for that little bear. It's rude.
No. And I don't want to see spoilers.
And I don't want to see spoilers, and we have to remember our manners. We can't leave him waiting.
No. So Paddington 2, this is going to be hard for me to like do the plot breakdown because I've seen this movie. Actually, this is only the second time I've seen this movie.
This is the first time I've seen it with words.
You've actually
with
watched
volume.
the movie. Right,
with
exactly.
Volume.
Yeah, I guess background. So we heard how you saw this movie for the first time.
Yeah.
You like siphoned it off of somebody else's screen on a plane.
Yeah. I secondhand inhaled it.
Classic.
Found it delightful then, and let me tell you, audience, even more delightful with sound.
Yes.
The talkies. Who would have thought?
Right. I saw this movie in theaters when it was in theaters. I remember going to like a weekday matinee and sitting down in the movie and then looking around and being like, oh my God, it's like all these people brought their kids. And then I remembered, right.
Right. Then the movie opens.
Right.
And you see
I'm actually balling on their court.
Yeah.
As it turns out.
Well, so, because I had always heard, and I think we said this in the last podcast, Paddington 1, delightful kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
Paddington 2, delightful movie.
Yeah.
Full stop, period.
I think Paddington 2 was originally presented to me as like, this is genuinely one of the best films of the year, if not best films of the 2010s.
There was a lot of hype surrounding it. I felt Paddington 1 is great. I am a sucker for the cute factor, so I think that gave me the edge here. If you're not as much of a sucker as I am, I think you, as an adult, leave that movie a little like, yeah, I guess it was fine. And then 2 opens, and immediately you're back in darkest Peru.
Yeah.
Invested, like right off the bat, you're like, oh, this one is gonna be more than just like silly gags.
Yes. Like I said, this one is political. This
one
is like explicitly political for a family movie of this caliber.
Yeah, no, it is about prison reform
and immigration. Yeah, I did my very first note that I wrote here when they open, and it's like a prequel. This is like the origin story of Paddington, how he came into the care of Uncle Pastuzo and Aunt Lucy. And I think if this was a Disney property, we would already have a Baby Paddington show on Disney Plus.
I think we do. And I think it's on Max.
Really?
I think there is like a little cartoon Paddington.
I don't
Or
remember
maybe-
seeing the newsletter from the Michael Bond estate where I
think
keep up with
it's
all
on
the...
I think it's on the way from the UK. I think you do need to get a VPN to watch it.
Okay. There was a tweet that was like, Disney's now learned that they can make any of their old characters babies and we eat that shit up after
Yeah.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And now every time, I feel like so many movies are going to that well now.
I guess Baby Paddington is smaller.
I also wrote down later on, Paddington doesn't weigh anything in this world.
No.
Paddington is a weightless.
He's an ethereal.
amoebas.
He's an ethereal.
Paddington is an invention of improv where he fits exactly where you need him to fit.
He's like a comedy balloon.
Yes.
And he is a bear.
Yes.
He is a famously heavy bear.
Yeah, a bear cub, I think, would at its lightest still be like 60 or 70 pounds.
I also am curious at how old Paddington is.
Well, they say Aunt Lucy is turning 100.
Right. Which,
and she just seems like if she were a human, like in her 70s.
I have grandmas in their mid-90s, and we do not put them on planes.
No.
So from Peru to London.
Shit, these days, who would you put on a plane?
I'm so scared.
Yeah. But cute little opening. I will say something we talked about last time is that because it's a family movie, they have like these set pieces that kind of go on and they're just silly and it's like, all right, we get it.
They keep these ones pretty tight.
This is really clippy and to the point.
Yeah.
And they all service the plot.
And they do.
Even this opening has kind of like a, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But it's like they burned through this. This movie is an hour 42.
It is.
Clippy.
Wow.
Clippy and substantial. To the point.
The third act is action-packed. We'll get to it, but what a third act.
And may I just say right now, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
There are multiple points in this movie that I was like, this is a Mission Impossible movie.
Yes, there are. It gets a little Count of
Just
Monte
like
Cristo.
Conclave and Fast X take place in the same universe at the same time.
Yeah, Ethan Hunt in Paddington.
Fallout is happening at the same time of the events of Paddington 2.
Paddington is actually the voice when he gets the recorder asking it.
Ben Whishaw is in James Bond.
He's in James Bond.
He's Q.
Yeah, he's Q. He's a gadget boy.
He's Q in James Bond, and in this movie, he's a cute T.
Hey.
Yeah, so Paddington, we see his origin story, how he comes into the care of Aunt Lucy. Flash forward to present-day London.
Yeah.
Where Paddington is a member of this community now.
He is an outstanding member of this community.
Lights up every room that he's in.
Yeah.
I actually had to change the settings on my TV because halfway through the movie, everything was so blown out. I was like, this is such a bad transfer from film to Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And I realized I had my TV setting on like dynamic because I mostly use this TV to watch sports.
For watching sports. Like the boy.
And when I switched it from like game mode to movie mode, it made such a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because literally flashing forward a little bit, like in the courthouse, when I say they were blown out, like literally I could not see Sally Hawkins' face because it was so bright.
Oh, weird.
And I realized it was my TV's fault.
Yeah, because I did not have that problem.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, this movie is bright.
Yeah, this movie, what is Paul King doing?
It was
coloring.
Yeah, no. It was my TV's fault.
Yeah,
I don't blame that on the movie.
It's not, because it looked fantastic from where I was sitting.
Yes, and I want to applaud Paddington for being a franchise that remembers that it is on film and that film is a visual medium.
Should we talk about okay, so we'll skip ahead plot-wise a little bit. He's an outstanding member of his community. He is it's Aunt Lucy's 100th birthday. He's writing to her every day, keeping her abreast of the news at the Brown's house and in London. And he wants to send her a birthday gift because he's a sweet bear who wants to let him know, who wants his aunt to know he's thinking about her and cares, even though he's writing her every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So he goes to the shop, the oddities, the little vintage shop around the corner. Gruber's, thank you.
Is that what it's called?
McGruber's? Something like that.
I don't fucking know.
Who is that character? Who is that actor?
Jim Broadbent.
Is it Jim Broadbent?
Yes.
Right, because British actors are a little tricky
Yes.
to keep straight.
Yes.
Shows him, he just got this cool chest, and there's this wonderful little popping book of London that is perfect for Aunt Lucy. Paddington needs to get his little paws on it, but it's expensive, and the economy's hard on bears.
Did we make it out that it's about 1,000 pounds? Because he's
Sure.
got the one coin and he says, "Oh, my friend, you'll need about 1,000 more of those."
I also want to talk about a running motif that I do not like in this movie.
Things in his ears.
Things in his ears.
You're not a fan of the things in his ears.
We open and there are more things in his ears.
Yeah.
Electric toothbrushes. When he puts that coin back in his ear, that suction it makes, I don't like it.
Well, bears, how they do in the wild where they keep things in
their
ears.
I love
He has a coat with pockets.
Right?
I'm just saying.
Buddy, learn to use those pockets.
Yeah.
I don't like the toothbrush in the ear. Someone should tell you to stop. You could hurt yourself.
Yeah. Maybe this will be a thing in Paddington in Peru.
Maybe they'll get it.
Maybe they're setting this up for the sequel.
They're finally going to get him to stop.
Yeah, but there's a beautiful animated sequence where Paddington has Aunt Lucy and he's imagining they're going through the pop-up book.
It's incredible.
Really beautiful.
One of the coolest little things I've seen in this, where they are the only 3D characters in this popping book world of London. Incredible. Looks so good.
We've really lost our way in just as a reminder, when you're putting something on screen, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Especially
anything.
Especially when you're already working in animation.
Exactly.
That
entire segment was just computer generated images.
It was so cool. It was so brilliantly done and handled, and also the animation in this movie is great, full stop, just because of how lived in Paddington seems to this world.
And the fur has got to be difficult to work with.
The fur's got to, and he's always electrocuting himself. I thought he was going to get into some hijinks in that store, and then he didn't.
Oh, yeah, no. But he got into those hijinks at the little barber shop. Because he realizes he needs to make money, and hustler, grind king, he goes to work.
He goes to work. He's not just going to ask the Browns for money, even though he seems to have a fine job. And
they would totally give it to him.
Give him the money.
Yeah, but he wants to earn his way.
He wants to earn his way because he's got a good head on his shoulders, even though he's so silly. But he starts sweeping hair at a barbershop, and for some reason they give him scissors, which do not give that little bear scissors.
No.
He has scissors in a comb in his pocket, and I'm like, all you're supposed to be doing here is sweeping hair. No sharp objects for Paddington.
But he just wants to help.
He wants to help so bad.
He wants to help.
And he won't say no to anybody.
No.
He needs to learn how to say no. That's part of manners.
Yeah, there's an animated sequence in this portion where he turns on the electric razor and his whole body vibrates.
It's very funny.
I laughed.
It's funny.
That got a laugh out of me. I was like, look at that silly bear.
I was waiting for hijinks. We got punked out a little bit a couple times in that movie. And then when it did happen, it delivered. It is a little rotating. Gets caught in the fan.
And this is where I was like, he weighs whatever we need him to weigh at any given moment in the movie.
It's mostly light.
Yeah.
He's mostly light.
Yes.
He's never heavy, even though that boy eats. But he gets fired, which imagine firing that little face.
But also, he did kind of make a mess.
He messed up. Yeah,
he made a mess.
He made a big mess. He shaved that man's head clean off, and then tried to stick.
Did he go straight from barber to window washer?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a man of skills.
Yeah. It only
And
took him 2 tries to find a job he was really good at.
And
big laugh for me when he starts washing people's windows. I think he just figures out he could just use his whole furry body.
Oh, yeah.
To wipe a window down.
When he lands in that backyard.
And that sequence where he's caught and then he kind of is moving his body up against the window. I laughed real hard.
It's funny.
And he got his little tail, his little butt involved, and his little tail is doing it too.
And he liked it. You know how bears rub their backs against trees? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so cute. And then he catches on quickly because he got that first job due to some crazy hijinks of getting a bucket up and down a ladder.
I like the briefcase ladder. I don't know if that's an invention of the book or if that's an invention of this world.
Yeah, the briefcase or the stepping as a step stool.
Yeah, he can open up the briefcase and then crank a ladder out.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's brilliant.
That's brilliant. It might be in the book. That feels very
This world, and this is something I clocked in this movie, is actually very anti-tech.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really use cell phones. They don't ever go to Google. In the first movie, when they want to look something up, they go to the fucking archives.
That is true. It is unclear what year it is.
The daughter, Judy, who's going over a breakup, God bless. I love her in this movie.
Oh yeah.
She has like a printing press for her newspaper.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's think about this, because Aunt Lucy clearly remembers or has some relation to being a kid during World War II. So it might be like the 70s?
Maybe, or this is just like an anachronistic world that's modern, and yet it's like, but
it's London, so it always takes place in the past.
You know what? Actually, that is kind of how I view
that
London.
Is true. Yeah. There is some sort of
well, there's even a bit of a joke when Paddington first lands in jail, moving ahead a little bit, but he writes to Aunt Lucy's like, I'm actually in like one of the most beautiful Victorian homes. It's like, yeah, I mean, it is some old shit over there.
Yeah.
Y'all got some old shit in London.
Yeah, you gotta get on that new stuff. Yeah. It's not working well.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, we actually not great.
No. Yeah, so he's washing windows, he's doing quite a good job of it. This is kind of our first taste, I think, of when the movie's like actually political, is that Peter Capaldi, who is like not at all reformed and has learned no lesson from the first movie.
I was kind of shocked to see that. I was like, you haven't befriended this little bear yet?
Yeah. But he's gone from like neighborhood watch to kind of more explicitly like, I'm the volunteer police.
Yeah.
Can I say it's giving ICE? Oh. Where it's like, you're not actually a cop.
Yeah.
You actually don't have jurisdiction to like fucking arrest people and detain people against their will without a warrant from a judge.
Yeah, NIMBY turned ICE.
Yeah, and now here you are going door to door like, well, and I think there's like a few lines, and when he's window washing, it's kind of the first time that's like, well, you know, he doesn't belong here. Like, all right.
He does.
I think he's actually like
he's more
a productive member of the community.
He's more of a productive member than you are.
Yeah.
Mr.
And I like that the Colonel character is like, you just bought a vest.
Yeah.
Like, you've self-appointed yourself to this position. Who the fuck do you think you are?
The Colonel likes Paddington. Who are you?
Yeah.
Paddington found the Colonel love.
Mm-hmm. He metaphorically and literally brings a light everywhere he goes. Including cleaning those dusty windows, and that light comes in.
And he's out of his depression, and he finds love. Thanks to Paddington. What have you done, Mr. Capaldi?
Exactly. I also wrote down...
Doctor.
As we learned, Paddington is scuba certified. Because when he goes to clean that aquarium, he's ready to go.
I was worried about him with those sharks.
No. A bear versus a shark?
I have seen that movie. Yeah, you're right. Paddington, those claws come out. Yeah. That shark gets a hard stare.
Hard stare.
So
yeah, he's like making his way. He's working as a window washer.
Saving his pennies.
Yes. The Brown family decides to go to a carnival that's in town.
Yeah, as...
Just for the shit of it all.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Madame Zapuzzo's?
Capuzzo? Crazy.
Caprese.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? They go to this well a few times, the joke of like, ugh, actors, am I right?
Yeah.
And people will shit on a theater kid, fairly so. But name another industry where every active member of said industry is like, but fuck us.
Yeah.
But hey, fuck us though. Fuck us.
Yes. That lawyers, I feel like, are like that.
Yeah, lawyers definitely have that. I think teachers have that. Like, all right, I get it, man. Yeah. Fuck me.
Doctors and nurses truly believe their own shit. Saving lives.
Get a load of these guys. Oh my God. All right. Your contribution to society is like keeping people alive. Whatever. We are introduced to Hugh Grant.
In his self-proclaimed favorite role he's ever played. And I see why.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just like Nicole Kidman, it's like, here, get off leash. Go, boy, run, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Jump.
Be the actor that you make fun of.
Truly.
Yeah.
I love the joke that he's a washed-up actor, now reduced to selling dog food.
And Paddington reads him immediately, burns him. calls up the little bear to stage, and Paddington just tears him down a peg.
Slams him.
Yeah. It's like, you're not the star of the show, Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Me, Paddington Bear.
Yeah, I said this earlier, but I think Hugh Grant accidentally got suckered into the Willy Wonka prequel movie.
Yeah.
Simply because he was like, Paul King is my goat.
Right. I mean, he didn't let me down before.
No.
Why would he now?
No. What a joy also for Hugh Grant to wear so many different costumes.
Oh, he's loving the costumes.
I'm working on set tomorrow in a role that I applied for simply because I was like, I think the costumes are going to be sick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
Little teaser, 60s flight attendant.
Oh.
Come on.
I'm
doing it to wear the cunty little uniform.
You should walk away with that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hugh Grant gets to do everything that every actor always wants to do in every movie, which is play the biggest character of all time.
Yeah, just
then
go
you
big.
kind of play multiple versions of the same character.
Right.
The character you're playing is an actor that's high on his own supply.
Yeah, and yeah, you play characters within that character.
Yeah,
too.
and then
Like-
you also wear like truly some of the most fabulous
and you're insane.
wardrobe in this movie and in the first movie as well.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Really
Yeah.
fun, really smart choices.
Yeah.
You get to do like Manic Pixie Dream Girl for Sally Hawkins.
Yeah. Who
And then
looks
just
great
like,
again.
Yeah, just like classic proper British across the board.
Yeah.
Everything looks like a fucking not Chanel runway, like a Marc Jacobs runway
Sure.
where everything is layered over like 17 times.
Yes, and then
You can never be wearing too many articles of clothing in a Paddington movie.
But what I will say in this movie, so they give Paddington a coat, and I know he's a bear, and we saw him like naked before, but once you give him the coat, when he is no longer wearing the coat, I'm like, oh, that is naked Paddington.
Right. I think the hat really when he's not wearing the coat and not wearing the hat, that is when he's naked.
Oh, see, it's more apparent to me when he's wearing the hat but no coat, because I'm like, you do wear clothes.
See, but at least when he was in Peru, he was still wearing the hat.
Well, Pastuzo was wearing the hat.
I guess you're right. Yeah,
he wasn't wearing the hat,
and he was so cute when that little hat was on his little body.
Oh my god, when he looks up and the hat fell on him.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then he ate that little marmalade sandwich.
And
Sweet.
When there are a couple times where we see Lucy and Paddington hug, and all I want to do is get in there. I'm not a hugger, famously not a hugger.
It's quite literally a
bear hug.
Bear hug.
It's a bear.
It's a
I
bear
said that
hug.
out loud. I whispered under my breath, "Oh, bear hug."
That's a bear hug.
Yeah, it's a good hug.
So we're introduced to Hugh Grant, which is huge.
Huge.
But then the movie really starts.
Because you're like, how could we up Nicole Kidman in Paddington 1?
And again, and like I said last episode, she set a bar.
Yeah.
For acting in these movies, she's like, meet me
And
where I am.
she wanted to be in this one, and then I guess it just like didn't work out for because like how I don't see how that character fits in
A
really.
cameo, at least.
Yeah.
At least for Paddington and Peru, a cameo.
I hope so. That's
It'd be cute if
that's
she
our
was in the same prison that, oh no, she's doing community service.
She's doing, yeah, of course.
Which is so funny. No, send me to prison. So the movie starts that night. Why is Paddington out and about? I can't remember.
That is true. He goes to the shop for some reason.
Or he's just like out and about and he sees that there's a break-in
Oh, yeah.
at the
Gruber's.
antiques
Yeah.
store.
Pretty sure it's Gruber's.
Paddington rushes into the scene, of course, because he's trying to stop a thief from stealing.
His
The
pop-up.
thief, goes exactly for the pop-up book.
And Paddington had mentioned the pop-up book to Hugh Grant, whose eyes kind of lit up. Not saying anything.
Right.
Not saying any spoilers.
Sorry, we did skip over that part
when
of it.
he's talking about like, hey, little bear, what do you want for...
Right, I'm saving up money for this pop-up book.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. So the thief runs off with the pop-up book.
Paddington calls his dog friend Wolfie.
Love all of this. Which again, this is the time where it's like a bear cub riding on the back of a dog?
Yeah.
Sure.
And getting bucked around by this dog.
Yeah.
It's a
How
big
much
dog.
does he weigh? How tall is Paddington? I think it changes depending on what he's doing.
It does, because he is not much bigger than when we see him as a little baby cub.
No, and a bear cub is bigger than a dog.
For sure. But he's Paddington. He's a balloon. He's just filled with marmalade. It's all jelly.
That is true. He's just
It's just a jelly belly.
He's not a jelly cat, a jelly bear.
Jelly bear.
So again, we have this little set piece. hijinks, action, adventure
Action's
moment of
good.
the movie, but like the stakes are also higher.
Yeah.
This one's kind of darker too.
Yeah, I mean, he's chasing this guy.
There's real consequences in this movie.
And then there are cops on his tail because the cops get alert on his little tail. On his little bushy little ball, on his little pom-pom tail.
Yes.
And cops get called and they immediately blame Paddington for some reason.
Right.
And this chase ensues. Paddington's chasing down the criminal. The cops are chasing down Paddington. The criminal,
which is the first time I thought to myself, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
This is Mission Impossible.
And then he catches up to the criminal due to some smart cartoon thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Catches up, him and his noble steed Wolfie.
Mm-hmm.
Catch up, and the criminal, poof, cloud of smoke,
gone.
Literal cloud of smoke disappears. Incredible. Paddington is left on the street. Cops come. They caught him red-handed, red pod.
Mm-hmm.
But they said that, and I was like, with what? He has nothing on him. What did you catch him red-handed with?
But again, that's what I'm saying. He's not like us.
Yeah.
He's not from here.
Yeah.
Why would we have to listen to what he has to say? He's a freaking bear, for God's sake.
We don't have to. Yeah, and he gets arrested in front of the entire community.
Which is really...
Which, come on.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Really tasteless.
Really tasteless.
I will also, getting ahead of it, cops throughout this movie are depicted as useless.
Yeah.
If not downright stupid.
Yeah.
And objectively wrong.
Yeah.
Every single one. The one lady cop is like, pretends to be helpful at one point in the movie, but ultimately like to no avail.
Is not. She's the one who caught him and with nothing.
With nothing.
He was trying to help.
Yeah. Book is missing, but Paddington also doesn't have the book. So.
What are we on trial for?
So he stole it and then threw it in the fucking river?
Why?
Like, yeah.
To what end? To what end?
So we go to court, and this actually, the courtroom scene is where I was like, I think my TV settings are fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I cannot see shit in the scene, and I know this movie is better than that.
Yeah.
We go through a nice round robin of different characters.
Yeah.
Speaking to Paddington's defense.
The guy from the IT crowd.
And he does a really funny choice where when they're like, is this the marmalade? He tastes it like it's cocaine. He does like one finger, like rubs it over his teeth. He's like, that's marmalade. I was like, that's a really funny choice.
It is a good
marmalade is like Coke. But of course they take the word of rich fancy white boy Hugh Grant over sweet Peruvian bear Paddington.
Yeah.
And Paddington gets thrown in the slammer.
I did not like seeing him in the little cell.
No, that
and
little cut.
Yeah,
I was not a fan of that.
No, I was upset, and
he did nothing wrong.
He did nothing wrong, and he's sent to jail for 3 years.
Yeah.
For stealing a book that he does not have.
And the judge also put some more years on him for the joke about like, oh, he fucked up my hair.
Oh, yeah.
Because the judge is the guy from the barber shop.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, and see how that judge,
Corrupt.
because of a personal vendetta,
Corrupt.
which he shouldn't have been residing over that case in the first place, Your Honor. Yeah. So I would throw the mistrial right out of the gate.
He needs a better lawyer.
Because now Paddington is going to jail for even more years because of a personal slight.
Yeah.
How is that fair?
The justice system is
fucked up.
Fucked up.
Fucked up. But again, like, this is where the movie's kind of more explicitly like, okay, Brexit. Let's get to brass tacks how we treat other people in London.
And let me tell you, this little bear's gonna turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he's in jail.
He's in the slammer. He is, I guess, allowed to keep a marmalade sandwich under his hat.
Yeah, they don't check the hat.
He keeps marmalade equipped on him like a video game character.
Because not just a sandwich. Not just a sandwich, but clearly marmalade and bread and supplies, because he keeps having them.
Yeah. Again, he's like a video game character, like an RPG, where you're constantly equipped with certain things.
He keeps finding them and like hopping up and getting them like
unlocked. 2 marmalade sandwiches. Like boost your energy.
Yeah.
He's in prison. He's trying to keep a good face about it. He lies to Aunt Lucy.
Which,
he doesn't say like, yeah, by the way,
he doesn't want to hurt her, but it doesn't seem like Paddington.
Yeah.
He's painting, he's trying to put a positive spin on it, but it's killing him. And I don't, poor little guy.
He is assigned laundry as his prison duty.
Yep.
Where, again, we get a little hijinks, but it's all for the point of the plot.
Yeah.
And it's very quick.
And it is quick. Yeah, he puts that red sock in his, he sorts that laundry super quick. His system, I don't love. of sorting laundry. He's
Sure.
going one by one into different things and just like make piles and then throw them in.
I did. So I work with kids.
Sure.
And some of the kids that I work with are have ASD, autism spectrum disorder. And so one of the things that I've been learning is like, okay, how to identify, how to make arrangements, how to make compromises.
Mm-hmm.
What are things in my language that I have to change when I'm talking to a child that might be on the spectrum or might have those tendencies? And I did write down in this part of the movie, I think Paddington might be on the spectrum.
Really?
And my big takeaway is that he takes things very literally.
Sure.
And
he has Amelia Bedelia syndrome sometimes.
Which oftentimes those are symptoms of autism.
Yeah.
Taking things literally,
Yeah.
not being able to read sarcasm because you take things at face value.
Yes. Yeah.
And I notice sorting the laundry one by one. This is something that we might clock. Later in the movie, which we're going to get to, all of his interactions with Knuckles, that's when I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
friend, I see you.
Yeah.
And I would see how someone might have to adjust their language.
Yeah.
Because you are taking everything very literally.
Yeah. We gotta. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The one by one.
Yeah. When he sorts the laundry, everything becomes pink.
Yeah. He accidentally, there's a red sock on his little hat
Mm-hmm.
and he forgets about it. He just tosses it in and then realizes, oh no, I'm not going to get into laundry. The laundry of it all.
Yeah.
That's
You think that one sock couldn't dye all those?
Well, I mean, there were 3 separate things, so why is everyone's uniform? But
Same water supply.
same water.
Same water supply.
Yeah, it's all okay.
Use your head, Bridget. Think. Okay.
You're right.
Same water
You're
supply.
right.
That one sock, same water.
Same water, and it
Plus
was
it's cute.
and it was very red. And also, he makes those uniforms look good.
Mm-hmm.
Brings a lot of brightness in.
See, and even in the prison starts to get lighter and brighter.
Lighter and brighter. Everyone's mad at the poor bear because these tough, hardened prisoners don't want to.
By the way, his outside job was window washer. Why would that not be his job in prison?
It seems like those. Well, you can't.
They don't give a shit about
bars.
washing those windows.
Yeah,
I
through the
guess.
bars, I guess he can't.
I guess. He experiences prison gruel for the first time.
Doesn't like it.
Not a big fan. This is also when they're like, oh yeah, definitely go and tell Knuckles you don't like the food. He's a big fan of when people do that. And he's like, all right, I will. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
What is the point of bullying this little bear? I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, because again, he's the other.
He is the other.
He's getting othered. Even in prison.
But you know, like sometimes prisoners have those there's those programs in prisons that bring like service dogs in.
Oh.
And Paddington could be that.
Yeah.
And he is.
Bridget, I don't think they do that in prisons.
What?
Bringing in service dogs. I don't think we're treating prisoners correctly.
No, I don't, but I saw on Instagram once. So it
Well,
must be true.
They would bring dogs to the library during finals week. Which was nice because I was like, that's what I came for the library for. A bunch of yapping fucking dogs. That's why I'm here. Thank you. Slew. Good thinking.
Yeah.
Put these animals in the quad.
Put him in the quad.
We encounter Knuckles, played, of course, by Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
Who is also having a ball.
This is about
ball.
the time I tuned in on my silent watch and was like, this movie, killing it. Brendan Gleeson having a good time. Beard looks so soft.
Really good. Yeah, he looks great, actually.
He looks really good.
Across the board, yeah. He charms Knuckles and saves his
McGinty.
life.
Knuckles McGinty.
With a marmalade sandwich.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like Knuckles is like, I'm going to fucking murder you.
Yeah.
And then eat you like the bear that you are.
Yeah. Bear meat.
But he gets that marmalade sandwich in the mouth and he's like, wait a second, what is this?
What is this? It changes everything.
Which is like, yeah, given that the primary ingredient of marmalade is sugar, I can imagine it puts everybody in a better mood.
Yeah. Just a little serotonin
It's just
boost.
carbs and sugar and vitamin C.
Little just boost. We all need a little pick me up.
Exactly.
Little sweet treat.
So then we find out Loki, everyone in the prison is a great baker.
Yeah.
To which I did write down, this is the impact of the Great British Bake Off.
It is. Yeah. Everyone, no one makes, cooks. They all bake.
Yeah. We culturally really assigned baking with like mental health in a positive way. And I think Great British Bake Off was like part of that.
It was part of that. And then the pandemic certainly made a lot of us bakers.
Definitely. So now Paddington is working in the kitchen. We have very sweet him making oranges with
and
Knuckles.
So, yeah, he comes into the kitchen with Knuckles. Knuckles is like, you do this all, Bear. You're here now. You wanted to help me. Help me. And he sits down and reads this newspaper, which has some amazing headlines.
Yeah.
There was one that's like a reference to Jailhouse Rock with the warden parting with it. I'm forgetting what the main headline was, but it was very funny.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. Pay attention to those headlines. In the paper.
You always have to pause and read whenever there's writing on.
Whenever there's writing,
you have to see.
They do a good job with this.
Yeah. So we have a very sweet marmalade making sequence. We're kind of developing this relationship, but meanwhile, on the outside world, the Browns are working hard to prove Paddington's innocence.
Yeah.
Which again, at a certain point, they do go to the police with like, this is what's going on, and she like the best she can do is like, we need hard evidence. Bitch, you didn't need hard evidence when you fucking threw Paddington into jail
for 3 years.
So funny how you need hard evidence to free the man.
Yeah.
But you have no problem throwing that bear on the slammer with nothing but just the word of another man.
But he was running. Yeah. With the word of an actor.
Which even the victim of the crime, Gruber, was like, Paddington was very serious about earning the money to get this book.
Why are the store owner is not pressing charges?
Yeah.
Why are you arresting him?
This is the Crown. And they even say it's the Crown versus Paddington, like the state. Oh my God. So the Browns are working hard to free Paddington. Sally Hawkins is using her skills as a writer and an illustrator to draw. This is the man that Paddington says he saw.
Yeah.
Judy is publishing it in the newspaper. Everyone is looking for clues.
Posting.
Everyone's tracking things down. I do think it is kind of a bummer that we, the audience, learn right away that Hugh Grant is the guy that's actually doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly obvious.
But it's also a family movie.
Yeah, I mean, there can't be too much... And
then we do get all these scenes of Hugh Grant dressed up in different characters.
His apartment...
Figuring out the puzzle that's hidden inside of the book.
There is a puzzle in the book. That's why he wanted it so bad. He is obviously insane because every time we cut to his apartment, he has these amazing scenes where he is surrounded by costumes of characters we can suspect he played on West End. He's surrounded by like a Hamlet and a
Sherlock
Holmes and Sherlock. Yeah, he's surrounded by everything.
He's like great stage characters.
And talking to himself as in conversation with these characters. He's doing excellent work here.
Oh my God. And I love how it's shot. They cut to the wardrobe, the mannequins as if they're like part
talking, and he's doing the voices of like Hamlet. And yeah, it's incredible work. But he is trying to track down these clues. In the pop-up book, there's like these little there's these
and this
hints.
Is very Mission Impossible.
There's like
because it's a lot of rooftop stuff.
It's a lot. He is sneaking in places.
He is like borderline rappelling from the sky.
He is putting on masks and rappelling from the sky.
You know what? There was Mission Impossible in the last movie because we did laugh at Nicole Kidman doing a Tom Cruise spoof.
Paul King loves or hates.
Yes.
Mission Impossible and or Tom Cruise.
I gotta say love.
I gotta say love. They're good homages.
I think he's like super into it. Well, there's that sequence where Hugh Grant is dressed as the nun.
And of course we get man dressed as lady. Yeah, man being attracted,
which they do it a little bit more tastefully in this movie.
It's a little bit better. It's a little less.
Just because it's that very subtle off line that dude has, where he's like, "And I saw a very attractive nun."
Yeah, it's funny.
Which is just funny to describe a nun as being like also stunning.
It is very funny and also it's Hugh Grant, and also another amazing part in Hugh Grant's apartment is it is littered with pictures of young Hugh Grant,
and it's like actual Hugh Grant.
It's actual
photos.
Hugh Grant.
I do love when they can get away with doing shit like that.
Yeah,
that's really good. Yeah, there is a shot of Hugh Grant as the nun running down the spiral staircase at St. Paul's Cathedral. Yeah. I'm not joking. That exact same shot is in Mission Impossible Fallout because they also go to St. Paul's Cathedral. This is where Tom Cruise famously broke his leg or foot jumping from building to building.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, you can pull up it's the same shot. It is the same. And Fallout came out a year after this movie.
Did it?
I feel like that was 2019. Fallout.
Yeah, you're right.
2017. Sally Hawkins is doing this movie and Shape of Water.
Well, so there's a scene to cut to the end where they're going down that river.
Yeah.
She finishes Shape of Water, does all those underwater sequences last. Day later, goes to film Paddington.
Are you
does
serious?
the underwater sequence.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This bitch was swimming this year.
Commitment. I mean, that's why she swum from England to France and back.
Yeah, no shit.
She can do it at that point.
Yeah.
In one breath, probably.
Yeah, so we're in the outside world. They're getting closer and closer. We have this great sequence where the Browns are able to break into, and Hugh Grant's character is named Phoenix Buchanan.
Incredible name.
That is my drag name.
Phoenix Buchanan.
Phoenix Buchanan fucking rocks.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Good name.
They keep saying it, and I'm like, who's that? Hugh Grant.
Yeah. We also have, oh my God, a really great scene where the kids go to Hugh Grant's agent. They're like they're like, oh, we're doing an interview for the paper. Again, very like, wah, wah. I'm doing a jerk off motion. Oh, we're in the industry. Wink. Actors are egomaniacs, right? Wink.
Yeah.
Like, all right. I love the bit where they do the tape recorder.
Yes.
And they record some of the agent to fool Phoenix Buchanan into leaving his house.
Yeah.
So their mom could break in.
Mm-hmm.
Great buns.
Amazing.
Stupid, but God, I laughed.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Laughed.
And yeah, I love them working for the bear.
Yeah. Hugh Grant, Sally Hawkins, Hugh Bonneville, they get into the house. They find the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Big laugh out of me with secret room. Well, I think it's a secret attic, or just a regular attic. Like the nature of an attic is to be hidden.
Yes.
And then when he pops up, he goes, "Good Lord, this man's a weirdo."
It is very good. Good.
Hugh Bonneville has some really good lines.
He's really good in this.
He's very funny.
He gets to be a little unleashed in this movie because he is
a little bit goofier. Yeah.
He's going through a midlife crisis, so he gets to put on face masks and be a little sensitive. And
yes, but they basically piece together like, oh, it's not all these different strange characters showing up throughout London doing sus shit. It's Phoenix Buchanan in character.
He's acting, and acting is the real villain of the movie.
Yes.
And the theater.
Above all else, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, again, they take this evidence to that police officer who, like, best she can do is like, I'm sorry, I'm going to need real evidence. Like, oh, I'm sure you do. But then tragically, because the Browns been out about proving Paddington's innocence, they miss visitation at the prison.
And he thinks he's all alone. Which, like, Paddington know better. They love you.
I know, but that
the picture
cut to him laying alone in his prison bed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I actually think I said out loud, no.
Yeah. No, it is heartbreaking.
No.
And then Knuckles wakes him up. Oh, this is earlier, but Knuckles wakes him up by poking him on the nose, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
To poke Paddington and to boop that little bear. But yeah, it's so sad. He thinks he's all alone. He's so sensitive.
And this is when we learned that Knuckles and a few of the prisoners have found out that it's actually shockingly easy.
Oh, yeah.
To break out of your cell and to like scurry around the prison.
Very easy.
It is like
turns out
Shawshank Redemption level easy.
Easier.
With like not even the digging.
No digging. They use zero tools.
There's simply a hole in the bottom of your cell.
Yeah.
Like a trap door.
Yeah. Like
that
a little
takes
bear
you to
cave.
a crawl space.
Yeah.
Where you can get all around. And Knuckles is like, hey, we can break out of here.
Yeah.
But Paddington, having the integrity, says, well, the only reason why I'd break out of here is so I could find that book and prove my innocence.
Yeah.
And Knuckles and everyone else is like, sure. If you join us, because he's small enough to scurry up the clock tower.
Yes.
Which is another time where Paddington is conveniently 5 pounds.
Yeah. 5 pounds
and can adapt any shape. He's like water.
Bears are famously small.
And very flexible and adaptable to all kinds of shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
So we initiate the breakout sequence.
Initiate breakout.
Which again, kind of giving Mission Impossible.
I love a prison break.
Giving a little bit Mission Impossible.
I feel like this movie is more, if anything, and it's because I just saw the French version, which is fantastic, is very Count of Monte Cristo.
Wow. Yeah.
Prison break, costumes.
Definitely. I think Monte Cristo is a character that Phoenix Buchanan plays.
I think
like, no kidding. I think
it's definitely
Monte
one of the
Cristo
costumes.
is up there. Wow, you're right.
Go see the French version that just came out, everybody. It's fantastic.
Okay. Is that in theaters?
It was. I don't know if it's still in theaters. I saw it in theaters.
Okay.
Fantastic. Anyway, Yeah.
So we go through this prison break sequence. All of them bring their skills from the outside in. One of them actually is like a fucking pilot.
Yeah, convenient.
Yeah. They have all the necessary things they need in the kitchen.
Of course.
To create which, by the way, not to get in the weeds, the rations that this kitchen receives, a shockingly high amount of sugar.
A lot of sugar.
Which I think famously is kind of like the one thing that like prisons and military places like don't get.
Yeah, and
sharp knives as well.
And I love when they start turning the kitchen around and the dining hall into a little cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also worried about these prisoners. I mean, look, everyone needs a sweet treat and a pick-me-up, especially in a dark place like prison. But no one's getting any protein.
Not a well-rounded
No one's getting there. They're gonna die.
Yeah. Also, they do kind of imply that there is a conference room in the prison.
Of course.
Which they run through, and there's like treats that are out and available.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking Holiday Inn, like business lounge.
Look, I don't know what British prison is like. So
that's true. British prison might be different.
It might be different.
Might be different.
Yeah, they have little cafes.
Versus the ninth circle of hell that are American prisons.
Imagine
for profit. By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they make their escape. They manage to hot air balloon themselves out of there, which I thought was a very bold choice.
Those are loud.
And I did also write down at this point, what if these are dangerous criminals?
They do seem unsavory.
Well, because like I believe in prison abolition. I think the prison industrial complex does not work. I believe in rehabilitation. I believe in actual solutions.
For sure.
And I also equally believe that there are some people
who
have done acts of genuine violence.
Who should be.
That have lost their right to be a member of society.
And Knuckles seems prone to violence.
Sure. Although you have to imagine Paddington is like at a medium security. My God, he stole a fucking antique book.
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't think he's in jail with murderers and rapists.
Yeah, it is probably low security.
Maybe Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, clearly
maybe theft.
No one hurt.
Theft of like under $100,000.
No one hurt anybody in there.
Right.
Yeah. White collar.
These people embezzled. Knuckles obviously embezzled from his company.
Yeah.
He was working with like British Enron.
Right. Yeah. He was a member of the stock exchange.
Exactly. Yeah. They make their way out, and then Knuckles is like, "Great, let's get the fuck out of Dodge." And Paddington's like, "No.
I got a family.
I have to reunite with my." Well, he also is now confused about where to go.
Yeah, he doesn't think he has a home anymore
because he thinks the Browns have disowned him. Which Knuckles does kind of put that idea in his head, like, "Hey, one day they're not going to visit you."
Rude. He's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid.
He's a cub.
He's a cub. And they put him in adult jail.
But thankfully, Paddington at least does call home. Call the Browns to say, "Hey, I don't know what you folks are up to. This is what I'm up to.
If you, yeah.
I gotta find this book. I gotta free myself, or I gotta go back to Peru." And thankfully, they phone back.
Yeah.
And they're able to connect with Paddington.
He knows he has a family.
And they clear the air immediately, which, by the way, I do enjoy. Sometimes when I'm watching a movie and things are resolved too quickly, sometimes that annoys me because I'm like, all right, so what the fuck
we have a
am I
movie to
watching?
watch. Yeah.
Actually, the first time I ever clocked that is in the musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just a little bit like, this happens and then that happens and then this happens and then that happens. And it's like, all right, well, everything is resolving itself. So what is the fucking conflict?
Well, this one isn't, that's not the major conflict of the movie.
No.
So it is kind of nice to be like, oh, we don't have to go back and forth through this.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, they do the miscommunication trope. They do the, oh, it's not what it seems kind of thing. But I like that they do it in a good amount of time.
Yes.
Because otherwise, sometimes that either annoys me or it stresses me out.
It's stressful, and especially the idea of Paddington thinking he's alone is stressful and sad.
Yes.
And not that fun to watch.
Yes. It's really tough.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it resolves itself quickly.
Yeah. No, they clear the air. They're good communicators.
Yes. They are modeling good behavior for maybe the young people that might be watching this movie.
Perhaps. We skipped over McGinty gets a hard stare when he talks bad about Aunt Lucy.
Oh, that's right. Knuckles is the victim of a hard stare.
Yeah, and turns him around. That's all he needed. Hard stare.
You know, I think some people need discipline. Again, sometimes I see with the kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids are acting like a rowdy fool,
Mm-hmm.
and I just get on top of these motherfuckers. I just stick with them like glue.
Eye contact.
And when they receive that individual attention, it's amazing how their behavior changes. They stop being little shitheads.
Look at that.
And I also neg them.
For sure.
Because it's usually like boys that are like 8.
Yeah, they want to be negged.
And I'm like, why do you want to rip that off the wall?
That's lame.
That's stupid. No, genuinely, I did this the other day, and it worked.
I can see
I'm
that.
just kind of like a big bully. But they respond to that because they're not getting attention from their parents at home.
Kids love bullying.
They do. I think some kids do respond well. And I think Knuckles also responds well to someone challenging the authority.
Yeah, no,
And that was the test.
And that was the test.
You know?
All he needed was that hard stare. Don't talk bad about Aunt Lucy.
Right. But so the Brown family, they all agree they're going to meet at Paddington Station.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because the carnival is leaving.
Right.
And they figured out where all your dreams come true.
Right.
They figured out Buchanan is trying to find some piece of treasure or something valuable that is hiding
in the carnival.
And the book plays a role in that.
Yes. Well, the book all leads to the treasure in the carnival that his grandfather is trying to find. And his grandfather was the one who originally the poof of smoke trick.
Which that was kind of a cute little flashback.
It was a cute flashback. It brought the whole thing together. It was a good, and you immediately knew. It was another thing that was very quick to figure out. Like,
yes. So then we enter this train sequence that again is literally Mission Impossible, down to a Brian De Palma Dutch shot of Hugh Grant walking on top of the train cars, like multiple shots as a Mission Impossible aficionado myself, as a member of the IMF.
Yeah.
Like there are dolly zooms and Dutch shots in this train sequence that I'm like, this is Brian De Palma.
It is.
This is literally Brian De Palma.
I said they do the Wanted thing with Angelina Jolie on top of the train and it's going into the tunnel and she does that like lie back.
Yeah.
They do that.
Oh yeah. So again, it's like big set pieces, hijinks, but with stakes. Like this time it really did feel like someone could die.
Big action
Hugh
sequence.
Grant has a real weapon. None of this like tranquilizer dart bullshit. Like that is a sword.
Yeah.
That
is a bona fide sharpened sword.
That is a real sword. I do like that Julie Waters goes for the gun and then it's like, we don't actually have a real shotgun in the Paddington movies. This isn't American, for God's sake.
Right. There's no actual gun in London.
And if Disney was making this movie, I feel like guns would be all over this movie.
Pop, pop, pop.
There would be guns for days. I'm like, Paddington would have a gun.
Everyone's stocked.
Everyone has a gun.
Yeah.
The Brown. Jonathan Brown.
J-Dog
becomes useful in this. Oh yeah, he's kind of going through this identity crisis. He's less in this movie than he is in the first one, but he comes back around with his special interest of Twain's.
He
locking in and is able to actually conduct a full-blown passenger train.
Yeah.
He does hijack a passenger train.
He does. He's very smart, and he gets to use that, and he makes trains cool again.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
So we have this big set piece. We don't have to walk through the steps. Watch it. It's visually very interesting.
It is.
It is fast paced.
It's fast paced. It's genuinely exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Stakes are high. Everyone's involved. Everyone's doing stuff. We got trains. We got water, and then we get this kind of matching shot from the beginning of Paddington as a little bear, and Aunt Lucy was like, "We got to get."
Whoa.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Well, I realized they're on train tracks, just like Paddington. They're over the water in the beginning of the movie. Okay.
Yeah. So in the beginning of the movie, Aunt Lucy and Uncle Pastuzzo was sitting on a bridge talking about how they're going to go to London. When this little bear cub comes drifting down the river, Aunt Lucy's like, "We got to save him." They do this whole hijink. She hangs from a rope.
Right.
Grabs Paddington. They have Paddington. That's his mom now. That's his family.
Yeah.
In this sequence, Paddington is drowning, and it happens for a while, and it is genuinely very scary. He's like trapped underwater.
Yes, I did write Shape of Water mentioned.
Yeah, no, immediately. And then Sally Hawkins, who has been the whole movie training for this swim from England to France, like, this is where my training comes in. Dives into the water.
So Sally Hawkins literally went from one tank to another.
Literally one.
On her filming schedule.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she... again, could do that swim at that point.
God, and when I was younger, like watching the Goblet of Fire special features, I was like, I didn't even know I wanted to be an actor back then, but I did think like, God, it'd be fun to swim in those tanks.
Oh.
And now I think that's gotta be miserable.
Oh, it's miserable.
That's miserable
It's
business filming that. Because you're in and out of that water for 10 hours.
And it's not warm.
No.
It's not heated.
No. And you gotta wear your costume. Like, you're not in a... It's not like a bathing suit.
It's heavy
like,
under
you
there.
have shit clinging to your body all day long.
It takes forever. It's not warm in there.
No.
Swimming clothes is not fun. But yeah.
And you can only film... I mean, like... I'm sure even for like a shot like this, I'm sure you do some kind of training to like hold your breath for a certain point. Because like, yeah, I would say most people to hold your breath for a minute is a big ask. And when you're filming, I mean, because sometimes you stay down there and then they just put fucking oxygen in your mouth
and then
they say action. And so like you are submerged underwater for like minutes at a time.
Yeah,
and I love swimming, but that would be exhausting.
It's unpleasant and it's a little scary because you're also like surrounded by safety officers.
Yeah, and
like
mind
divers.
you, when you're swimming, even when you are just kind of chilling underwater, you are using every muscle in your body to swim.
Yeah, because she's fully upside down trying to get.
Like even when you're a kid, like swimming all day, you like 7 p.m. you're asleep.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, she saves Paddington. They're upside down. He grabs a little paw hand connection, and they look at each other, and you're like, no, this is family now.
Yeah.
Lucy became a mother figure, and now Mrs.
And this
Brown.
is also when I was like, is Paddington gonna die?
So scary. Speaking of being a kid, being trapped underwater is a nightmare. You ever come up swimming under a raft?
Yeah. Yes,
one of the scariest moments of a young person's life.
Yes. I vividly remember my father reaching down and picking me up with one arm because I was stuck underneath a bunch of rafts.
I remember coming up, I was swimming in a pool, someone was in a raft, I came up right under it and immediately went to, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Immediately I'm gonna die.
Yeah, your survival instinct kicks in. Yeah, even watching, I mean, when I saw it in theaters the first time, I kind of felt the feeling of like, oh my God, no, seriously, get him out of there. And even watching this time, I mean, even the first time I'm like, they're not gonna kill Paddington. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like, she's gonna have to go up for air, but he can't. He's stuck in there. Like, I was there with them.
No, it was genuinely a heart pumping scene.
Yeah.
But
thankfully, Knuckles and the criminals come back Han Solo style.
Yeah.
They have a change of heart. They realize, oh, we got to help this little bear.
He turned our lives around.
Yeah. They dive in with their strength. They're able to break open that chain.
I mean, Brandon Gleeson's a big guy. Brandon Gleeson's a huge.
And then they bring them back to the surface, where Paddington then falls into like a little coma.
Yeah, he gets a little cold.
No big deal.
Oh, they pick him up and they're like, he's burning
up.
Oh no, poor guy.
I think having a fever in a kids movie is like what you can do so your character doesn't literally like pass out.
Yeah.
And appear dead.
Yeah, having a fever in a kids movie is like having a fever in the 1800s. Like,
yes,
yes.
It like conveys like, okay, something is wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not so serious that you should be scared.
Yeah. But yeah, he's burning up. He goes to sleep. He wakes up in the Browns' house. He's back home.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been established. It's his home.
Yeah.
This is where he lives.
They even furnished that attic, so he's got like a proper bedroom now.
Yeah. And they tell him he's been asleep for 3 days, and he's like, oh no, I missed Aunt Lucy's birthday. She's gonna think I don't care, which is crazy, Paddington.
Yeah.
Crazy. Of course she knows you love her. But they're like, well, the whole community got together and got her a present.
Which, can I admit, when I saw this in the theater, this segment of the movie, watching it again, I don't know how I didn't know that the reveal was going to be Aunt Lucy is there.
Yeah.
Because when I saw it in theaters for the first time, that reveal shocked me so much, and I burst into tears. I think audible tears, like, like I made a noise.
It took me longer than I care to admit to realize that's what I thought. They like bought the book together.
Well, I thought maybe they put together like a photo slideshow, and that's how we were gonna end the movie with like, oh, here's all the photos with Paddington and the Browns.
Yeah.
But like watching it again, I was like, I don't know how as an adult I was fooled by this kids movie. It's like, you know, you've always said that you wanted Aunt Lucy to come to London and see everything in London. Well, we couldn't get the book, but we got something better. And like, I don't know how I did. Again, when I watched it, I was like, oh, they made like a movie for her.
It
never crossed my mind that she was going to be there.
It took me a while, and then he's walking down the hall and running the door, and that's kind of where it sets in. And
I'm telling you, when I first saw it, it was bad, but even now, ruined me. Oh my God, that was so beautiful.
Yeah.
What a beautiful way to end the movie. Oh my God.
Oh, and that hug that they
a bear hug.
A true bear hug. Paddington sees Aunt Lucy at the door, and if your heart doesn't burst you at that moment, check your pulse.
Yeah.
Check your damn pulse. Because what a lovely reveal. They are reunited in jolly old London town. She sees that Paddington has this great community of friends and people who rallied around him. And she's in London with her little bear cub.
Yeah.
It is one of the best moments in cinematic history, dare I say.
It's so beautiful. And it's a beautiful reminder that people have family. You may not see them, but people come from somewhere. And they have people that love them in all different parts of the world.
Especially when you remember your manners.
Exactly. If the world is polite,
it's good.
No, they say it in the movie. The world is kind of polite. The world will be all right.
The world, yes.
Something of that too.
And it's true in that moment. And again, appreciate, because we had this action-packed third act wrapped up quickly. Sometimes these these resolutions can be drawn out, but this gets wrapped up right away. I remember it finishing and my boyfriend just going, "Oh, it's over."
Yeah.
Crying.
So,
obviously,
but
obviously
delightfully
crying.
So, like, this is it. Nothing else needs to happen.
We don't need any more coda. Like, they get that big bear hug. She's in London. We know they're going to have a great time. And then she's going to go back to the home of retired bears, knowing her little cub is safe and happy.
And then we are gifted with a little bonus scene with Hugh Grant in the prison.
Oh my God, I have been...
Where we have experienced genuine prison reform, by the way.
At this point, yes. This is...
Because it's not just like gruel and outside time. Like, there are things to do. We are engaging with the people that are imprisoned.
They have built community.
There are outlets for them to explore a new hobby, learn a new skill, be rehabilitated, so that they may rejoin society when their time is up.
They've learned to build community, to work together, to make
put on the best talent show this prison has ever seen.
Oh my God, Hugh Grant! This whole movie, he's having a great time. Like, it's visible that he is enjoying himself.
Mm-hmm.
This final scene of him doing this big prison dance number in the sparkliest prison outfit, the most disco-inspired outfit I've seen. Incredible. Having a great time. To think this is the man who complained on Love Actually of doing the little dance scene that is in that movie.
Right.
To doing this. That is prison reform.
Yeah.
The guard is involved. Everyone's involved. This dance scene is delightful.
Paddington, again, he's brought light and a whimsy and everywhere he goes, even in a place unlikely like prison.
And he leaves his little mark because they're still in their pink uniforms and they're dancing and singing and having a good time and respecting one another, more importantly, and what the other person wants to do, and joining in on the fun.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant in the scene, you can just tell, is having the time of his damn life. Because this was also couldn't have been cheap to shoot. The way they shot this was full musical. There are cranes. There are.
I think also that's why the movie is like a solid hour 45.
Yeah,
because it is like between all the CGI, between
there are a lot of people
all the
in
sets
the
that they
scene.
built.
There are a lot of people in the scene. It's hard to tell. I think I don't think that's Hugh Grant actually doing that dancing.
Nah.
So like it is a big. It's not like a little throwaway end credit scene. They put
no
work and choreo and money behind the scene, and it is worth every damn penny.
So good.
Because in a delightful movie with a wonderful ending, perfect coda.
Yeah, you could totally bring Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman back in Paddington and Peru. Easy, quick cameo of the two of them in kind of like a civil court or something.
Yeah, doing community service together.
The two of them together could be a very funny dynamic.
Their characters fit very well together, I think. And if they're, both doing some sort of community service, that works fantastic.
I want to see that.
I would like that.
I really hope
much.
they're in Paddington 3. Paddington in Peru.
I mean,
Olivia Colman is.
And, this movie plays a trick because there are so many fantastic British actors in this. Anytime we turn around for a little bit part and it's not like a British royalty actor.
I know. I'm like,
it's a little, it's like, oh,
I feel like there's a lot of stand-up comics in this. He's definitely, I mean, with the IT crowd, I think he's pulling from like the comedic.
Yeah. I maybe
it's all like the best like B tier.
Yeah.
British character actors that are like big on the BBC, but like in America, it's kind of like, oh yeah, kind of sort of no.
Yeah.
That's the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know him.
But yeah, every little part I do expect like Maggie Smith. Like,
right.
Which, is no fault of the movie, but it sets a high bar.
Yeah.
And it's a good film because of that. And next time we'll be in Peru. We'll be in darkest Peru.
Yeah, which I love that for them.
Yeah.
I will say, kind of like bittersweet, the movie is dedicated to Michael Bond.
Yeah.
Who actually passed away.
Like right at the end of film.
The day they wrapped Principal.
Yeah.
So they called it wrapped, and then they were like, and we just
they called it
out
wrapped.
That Michael. Well, I think they checked the gate.
They checked.
What did they say? They say it's something different in England when they wrap and print.
I don't know that. I've only filmed in America. I actually don't know that.
Oh, again, this is from the Harry Potter special features. I remember they were like, oh, well, the American actors wouldn't know what we're talking about.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
we say check the gate.
I normally just call rap.
I don't know. Yeah. No, there's like some like Britishisms on set.
I believe
over there.
I believe it. They know what they're doing. Yeah, they were like, cut. We made the greatest film
of all time.
Maybe. I mean, certainly in Rotten Tomatoes' eyes, it beat Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Out of the top spot. There are two negative reviews out of like 250.
Well, and I read
those are trolls.
Yeah, I read the Wikipedia page for it, and the very first ever negative review was written in 2021.
Troll.
And I'm like, at that point, you are being a fucking cocksucker.
We
have one thing in this world
that is pure good.
We
pure
have
light.
one thing in this world.
We're all struggling right now, and
it's the Paddington trilogy.
Yeah.
Which Paul King. So yeah, looking at Paddington Peru, not directed by Paul King.
Yeah.
Certainly going to be a dip in quality.
As most third movies.
Yeah. However, we're going to see it.
We're going to see it. And look, we can, there's a bar here. A dip in quality does not mean bad movie by any means. There's a high bar. We can go down a few levels.
Trilogies either descend in quality or they peak at 2.
Right. Generally.
And then I oftentimes
3's a wild card.
Yeah,
3's a real wild card.
When you're like, okay, well, we made it from, we can make a sequel.
Yeah.
Then you go, oh, good. I have all these ideas from when we did the first one that we couldn't afford or that we can expand on.
Right.
So you're kind of in the canon. I feel like when it comes time for 3, unless you were already planning a third in advance, 3 is like, okay, we're starting from scratch, essentially.
Yeah, 3, you feel the need to build on stuff that wasn't there already.
Yes, which is why I do think a lot of times the third movie is like, all right, we are leaving the place where these first 2 movies have
There
taken
tends
place.
to be a jumping of the shark in a third movie.
Again, Paddington, we're going back.
We're going back to Peru. Which, again, these movies can comfortably, especially after 2, can comfortably drop a couple levels while still being a good movie.
Oh, from A+ to A- would still be better than most of the shit they're coming out with these days. Kind of not kidding.
I almost don't want to set expectations for this movie.
No. I'm here for a good time with the Browns.
Yeah.
I enjoy these performances a ton. Paddington is a deer. Well, he's a bear.
He's not a deer. He's a bear.
Hopefully good stuff from Julie Waters.
Yes.
Mrs. Bird. I was missing her a little bit in this movie.
I was missing her. She had some good moments, but they were flashes. And
definitely.
Looking for, is Emily Mortimer?
I think she's in the third.
She's in the third. So see that Olivia Colman seems to be a singing nun.
Yeah, that's gonna be a smash hit banger. It's actually shocking she wasn't in these movies prior.
There are so many people that I was like waiting for that
Right.
feel like such an easy slide into this world. And I mean, best case scenario, we get Nicole Kidman, Hugh Grant reprise.
Cameo, please, God Almighty, please.
But we will be in theaters with our little red hats and our little
soon,
coats
because it's in theaters right now.
We gotta go.
Yeah,
we gotta go,
and we gotta go now.
We gotta go.
Okay, well, that was Paddington 2.
Watch it.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
it's so delightful. Watch it, just watch it, and
yeah, it's a good balm. It's a good salve for the.
It really, and I'm not always someone who feels like I need like just a nice feel good movie, but it also is genuinely except there are
one
stakes.
of the easiest movies to throw on, and if you're babysitting or you find yourself having to watch a movie with a child, this is
the movie.
So easy to watch.
This is the movie.
Good for kids, definitely, but like watchable as an adult. It's not fucking Paw Patrol.
And not just like throwing you jokes as an adult.
Like
genuinely entertaining.
Funny, G-rated, funny comedy. I laughed out loud several times.
It's funny. It's exciting. It has everything you want in a movie.
It's Mission Impossible. Alrighty. Well, we will be updating you guys on new episodes at BS Podcasting on Instagram.
Yeah.
Pretty much the only social media worth mentioning.
That's all you need.
And then our Patreon.
And our
Small
Patreon.
Beans. You're listening on the Small Beans Network. Hopefully you're already subscribed to the Small Beans Network. If you're not, do it.
Just subscribe.
That's free. Patreon, there's a lot of really good special features, bonus content you get as a member.
Yeah.
As a subscriber, as a member.
As a member of the community.
As a patron, actually, as it were, as a patron.
As a patron.
And they're really affordable.
Yeah.
It's like $3, $5, $10, like really nothing crazy.
Yeah.
If you are already listening to like more than 2 shows on this network religiously, I would say go ahead and become a member.
Yeah. Join our Discord.
Get in there.
Do all of the things, and give us a like and a review on Apple Podcasts. Those always help the algorithm. It's the almighty algorithm.
Bridget Greenberg, you can look up, and she's everywhere.
Yeah,
you can look me up, but Sarah Griffith is also the name of a professional soccer player in Chicago.
I was hoping you were going to say wrestler for some reason.
Oh no! Us Sarah Griffiths were very wafy, faint people.
Sure.
So please don't confuse me with her. She's great. Don't get me wrong. But I'm the one that got the @Sarah Griffith Instagram handle, so suck it, bitch.
Yep.
Sorry to end a Paddington episode by calling another woman a
Griffith.
bitch, but I mean, we're in Saradice
right now.
This is my house.
Yeah, so do that, and we'll see you in Peru.
Yeah. Have cheerio.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay, fair enough.
Lights, camera, action! We're shooting threes, just SMB. We're gonna watch and review film trilogies. It's all for laughs, so just sit back. We're gonna drop hella dimes on this podcast.